Hello, thank you for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast, where we talk the latest news, rumors, and games of the NFL week. From the latest signings to this year's breakout rookie and all the news in between. As always, I'm Alex.
And I'm Jeremiah.
Joined by Jeremiah, and we have the news of the week, of a slow week.
Very slow week.
It's a slow time this time of year, I find. In between the season, in between not rookie camp, but the draft and the official camp and the preseason and all that. It's not a lot going on, you know?
Yeah, we're at the part where we really have to earn our money right now. We're at that stage, so.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we have some interesting things for you today. We're going to go over our projections for top 5. I don't necessarily have it in order, but defensive rookie of the year candidates, and Jeremiah's going to get you with the offensive rookie of the year candidates. We have some updates on Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Jets trying to get some deals done. And then we'll cover Mike Tirico leaving Monday Night Football. So if we want to get started, Jeremiah, go ahead and start with the offensive rookie of the year candidates here.
Yeah. Okay, well, I have it the way I wrote it. I haven't wrote it backwards, so I'm going to...
like I said, I don't have mine in any particular order, so I don't think you would need them in a particular order, but if you do have them in order, by all means,
okay,
go for it. And then if it's backwards, then read it backwards.
Actually, you know what? I'm just going to read out what I have, because the first two are pretty obvious to the general public. Okay. So the top offensive rookie of the year candidate, as I have written here, is Ezekiel Elliott from the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. It's pretty. He's their favorite right now because he plays in front of the best O-line. What I think the best O-line in football. He's a very explosive runner, and he's set up for success right away because of that. Mm-hmm. Because he's playing against the best offensive line, and he could block and catch the football, what makes him a 3-down player, and he's hands down the season favorite. I
would agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Start from day one probably.
Yeah, like I said in the previous show, he is a top 10 fantasy football pick. He's a late first round.
Okay.
Late first round.
I can dig it.
Okay.
Give me your next one.
All right, and I have Jared Goff, who I think is going to start week 1 against Monday Night Football.
Yeah, agreed. I agree with you on that one.
He's playing with the solid defense. Has a top 5 running back within Todd Gurley.
Oh, yes.
So, he that kind of doesn't have as much of a workload because of that. Mm-hmm. And as an interesting note that I saw, a quarterback has won Offensive Rookie of the Year 6 times since 2004. So, if he wins it, I wouldn't be surprised.
Mm-hmm. But also, since the debut of the Offensive Rookie of the Year, running back is the leading vote getter usually.
Yeah.
I think running backs have somewhere in the double digits, very high up there,
Yeah, so I think it's going to be between Ezekiel Elliott and Jared Goff.
Okay.
Because they're both going to start right away. But there's some other people that I have
under the radar guys.
Yeah, a little bit under the radar. I think Coleman is a potential candidate.
Okay.
They have no clear-cut number 1 receiver. Josh Gordon is suspended as of right now. He's not reinstated yet, so they need that number 1 threat.
He probably won't be reinstated.
He probably won't. I would love if he came back and play.
No.
Yeah, really?
You don't need that kind of person in the NFL. If they're not going to do it for themselves, then whatever. That's their loss.
If I knew you were going to be that way, we should have talked about that. But we'll do that for a separate show. Okay, we're going to all right, back. I'm going to talk about Corey Coleman here. Okay. He's also a Baylor guy, just like his quarterback at Cleveland, RG3.
If RG3 is going to be the long-term starter there this year.
I think he's just a stopgap for now.
Well, I just mean this year.
This year, I think he's going to start week 1.
I think so, too. But then again,
they got Cody Kessler there.
I like
I like
Kessler
him, too.
a lot.
I think he's going to start second half, possibly. Yeah.
I think he'll start some games. But I was going to say, I'm sorry, did Coleman even play with RG3 at the same time?
I couldn't – actually don't know, actually.
I don't know what year Coleman is when he came out, but I'm interested to know if they even played with one another, other than the fact that they're just Baylor guys,
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Next.
And I had Laquan Treadwell from the Vikings. He's a big body with a great great size. He's exactly the receiver that Teddy Bridgewater needs. They have a couple of
some tweeners.
A couple of tweeners, a couple of solid receivers there. Stephon Diggs, Charles Johnson. You have some speed, but
yeah.
Treadwell brings the possession.
If he can fight those hands of his, if he gets
he,
better with those,
he's that type of receiver that can potentially move the chains. Well, this is potentially.
I got you. Mm-hmm.
He's going to be a big red zone target for Bridgewater, I believe. I think he's going to have a lot of touchdowns because of that.
Okay.
And they're going to be in the red zone. I think they're going to find other ways to score.
Okay.
When other teams are defending Adrian Peterson, because
Mm-hmm.
it's obvious if they're at the 1 yard line.
More
Adrian
than likely,
Peterson is probably going to get the football.
Yeah.
And I think he'll get a lot of targets overall
because
of his potential to move the chains as a chain mover.
I don't know, man. Moritz Bollinger might get some of those catches.
Who? Oh, your
Moritz.
boy. Your boy, that Germany guy. Right?
I hope he makes the team. That'd be great.
Yeah. It's a good story. He's kind of like I think he's kind of like this just Jared Hayne.
I don't know. Apparently, Jared Hayne's supposed to have a come out this year. He's supposed to have a big year, according to the coaches. But we'll get into that some other time if that becomes even a likely story. Yeah. But no, those are good choices. Was that all 5?
No.
One more?
I actually kind of have a tie at 5. If that's all right with you.
Yeah, that works.
Okay.
What you got?
The reason why I have a tie because I couldn't decide if one of these guys was barely missed the cut because I love both of these guys. I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
I have Devontae Booker and Michael Thomas. Who got drafted in the second round, the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So what I like about Devontae Booker is he has the ability to be a 3-down back for the Broncos, which is something they are lacking.
Yeah,
for the
they
past few
have like a
seasons.
2-down back and a 3rd-down guy and a receiving guy. And
it's just all over the place. So he gives them that ability to be a 3-down back.
Mm-hmm.
The Broncos ranked 17th last season in yards per game and rushing yards.
Okay.
So he'll add to an already good team that won the Super Bowl last year, even though
they lacked some offense throughout the year.
though they lacked some offense,
Mm-hmm. Okay. I understand that.
And he'll help whoever's at quarterback, whether it's Paxton Lynch, Mark Sanchez.
What's his name? Ryan Simeon.
Oh, yeah, Ryan Simeon. Oh,
Cinnamon.
Boy. Cinnamon.
Simeon. All right, give me some information there on Michael Thomas.
And what I have on Michael Thomas, I think has a chance to make an impact with Drew Brees because, a lot of teams are going to defend Brandon Cooks.
True.
And then Brandon Coleman, who didn't really quite make an impact as they would the Saints would have liked to had from him last year as a number 2 guy. So I kind of think that kind of gives Michael Thomas a chance to solidify himself as a number 2 guy.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I don't necessarily agree with you on the Cooks thing because Cooks is heavy duty, like a scat back kind of fast receiver slot guy. You still have to guard Colston though, and I definitely agree with you on
I thought they
Coleman
don't have
there.
Colston anymore.
I'm pretty sure Colston's still on the team.
Yeah.
I'm not positive, but I'm pretty sure.
If he's still on the team, he's like the 5th guy there, so it doesn't matter.
Colston? No, Colston still would be their starter, I would say. I would say he would still be the starter. I'd be surprised if they moved him, he's more of a number 1 guy. Yeah, he's still on their team. Yeah, he's still there. Sorry, I was just checking that. No, he would still be in that role. I mean, in a different sense of the word, but he would still be there.
Well, they are a pass-happy team, so that's why.
I agree with you. That's not a bad call.
He's probably the most under-the-radar guy on this list that I have.
Yeah, I could say that. Yeah, both of those last 2 picks you had were.
And then a couple people I had that barely missed the cut is Derrick Henry.
Okay.
And Hunter Henry.
Oh, double Henry. Okay.
The 2 Henrys, yeah.
Okay.
So, those are the 2 guys I also have that could potentially enter the race. And potentially that could be a 2-man race next season.
I could see that. Henry will be more difficult with splitting time, but
I'm excited
Hunter.
to see.
Hunter. Derek. Splitting time,
Henry.
that'll be a little harder.
I'm excited to see these rookies.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think the one I'm most excited about is I'm actually I'm actually excited to see Devontae Booker. I really want him to succeed well, and I actually want all of them, honestly.
Yeah, I can see them. I could see them all as realistic, realistic outcomes at that award.
So who do you have as a defensive?
Okay, so like I said, these are not in any specific order, even though they're almost, funny enough, they actually are. The way I have them written is in order of how they were drafted. Not like 1, 2, 3, but the one following the next was drafted lower. All of them first rounders except for my last one. But so the first one I have down is Joey Bosa from the Chargers. I can definitely see him making an impact on that team with a team that maybe in a division that doesn't have the strongest of O-lines. The Raiders, they're getting better, but not the greatest O-line. The Chargers, obviously, is on that team. But the Broncos, they're still working with their O-line again. The Chiefs, not a bad O-line, but there's always some kind of question with their O-line, whether it's Fisher or a couple years ago when they had, I forget his name now, but the left tackle that ended up leaving and Fisher took over for him. I think he could do well in that division and then let alone other competition. Followed by probably the more popular pick is Jalen Ramsey from the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, it's funny that you were saying about running backs and quarterbacks is there's only been one corner in the last 16 years to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. Now, it was last year with Marcus Peters, but
he had a good year last year.
Yeah, so typically the cover guys in the secondary are sometimes overlooked. Followed by Carl Joseph from the Raiders, and another guy that's going to be a safety, but the way he plays is very similar to Charles Woodson, who actually won Rookie of the Year with the Raiders in 97 there, 98.
Yeah. Looks like he's playing a good defense.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be able to benefit from that kind of upgraded defense there. And I'm really interested to see him play. Then I have Reggie Ragland from the Bills. Since 2011, linebackers have had a Rookie of the Year since 2011. So in 16 years, 11 times it's been a linebacker. Linebackers usually the more pivotal guys. So that's why I picked Ragland. I think he is going to start today. Who was it? Was it Doug Whaley? One of the front office guys from the Bills was saying that's very realistic and more than likely they're going to have 3 rookies start this year. So I could see him contributing pretty much from day one.
And he's in a Rex Ryan defense.
Exactly, which heavy with middle linebackers. And then Miles Jack is my last one there.
My boy.
Miles Jack, that's more of an under-the-radar one because who knows what his situation is going to be, if he's going to play all year or what with the Jaguars, but he has the potential to be, no doubt, a Rookie of the Year. So I have him listed there as kind of a wild card.
That means the Jaguars have 2 defensive Rookies of the Year candidates.
Yep.
Wow.
And
that's why they won the draft, man.
If Fowler had a good year, you could even say, oh, man, it's his rookie year. Yeah. But, yes, they do have 2 there.
Damn, they're an exciting team to watch.
Yeah, their offense was fun to watch last year.
I think they're going to be an exciting team.
It's like a Madden team to play now.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man.
Yeah, I love the receivers out there. But anyways, is that all you have? You have any
those 5. No, I didn't have any under-the-radar guys.
Oh, okay.
Didn't want to get into any too specifics with certain teams or anything like that. Just those guys are ones that kind of stick out to me initially, and then there's, of course, going to be guys that no one really thought about that'll show up, later in the year. You're like, oh, man, this guy was an afterthought kind of, pick like that. And we'll see who shows their head, late in the season, pops their head up and starts performing like a Rookie of the Year.
So is that all you have?
All I have.
All right. You sure? Okay.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Moving on.
Moving on to Ryan Fitzpatrick, who wants I believe, a $15 million deal from the New York Jets.
A too much deal.
Too much deal, yeah. It's a lot of money, and I think they offered him a $8 million deal for a year, and he was like, "Nah, son, I ain't coming.
I'm not coming back for that.
I'm not coming back." What? I don't know what to make of this, man. Like, I understand that he was a good quarterback from last year. Almost brought him to the playoffs.
Yeah, they finished just outside the playoffs.
Oh yeah, I think they barely missed it.
They had to beat the Bills to make the playoffs, and they lost to the Bills in week 17. Excuse me.
And Fitzpatrick has not signed with the team as of now, so he's still unemployed.
Oh yeah, well, He's a free agent. I mean, he's doing a lot better than some unemployed people. Let's say that.
Yeah. So
let's put it that way.
Currently, both sides are on a standstill here, and I think the $15 million deal is kind of like the same as Osweiler. And
Osweiler's getting 75 over 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So he's getting quite a pretty penny.
So if I'm the Jets, I'm gonna have to try to bring in Fitzpatrick back because they have no proven quarterback. Who are you gonna put? Geno Smith?
I would say he would be the consensus starter.
Yeah, and you got Bryce Petty.
Followed by Hackenberg. Because I feel like he picks up the system better than Petty coming from Baylor. So I would say in that order, But you're right, not a really proven guy.
But if you're the Jets front office, and if you don't think he's worth that kind of money, then don't sign him.
I mean, I don't think he's worth that kind of money.
I don't think he is either.
I don't think anybody in the league would sign him for that much money. I think he's banking on a little bit too much of last year's success. I don't know if that's quite what he should be making. I mean, he's better than me.
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't play professional football. So they, at their own right, have a little bit of a way of, deciding who makes what money and what you're worth in a weird way, what you are worth to them. And I like Fitzpatrick. I've always liked Fitzpatrick since he was with the Bills. But I don't think he's worth quite that much money, especially when the consensus seems that they drafted Hackenberg to be the guy coming, learning, and then hopefully be the guy.
Yeah,
you can't pay him that much money over time.
I think that kind of gave the Jets a little more leverage by taking Hackenberg.
Oh, the Jets have all of the leverage because you can start Geno. Geno knows the system. You can start him. And then from there, hopefully Hackenberg learns. Fitzpatrick doesn't really have much leverage because where else is he going to go? There's not a lot of teams out there that need a quarterback right now, like absolutely need a quarterback. I can name maybe 2 or 3, including the Jets, that absolutely need a quarterback, and I could say would look at Fitzpatrick, but are they willing to go and just shell out that money? I wouldn't say so.
It doesn't make a lot of sense that he wants that much money because I think Fitzpatrick would actually be a backup on several teams in the league.
Oh, yeah. Fitzpatrick would be a backup on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
Fitzpatrick would be a backup on most of the AFC East. He would be a backup on every team except for the Browns in the AFC North. Most of the teams in the NFC West. He is one of those kind of mid-range guys. He's got a killer arm. He's a smart guy. He went to Harvard. He's an amazingly smart football IQ. But he's not that guy. He's not going to win MVP. He's not going to go out there and, he plays when he's got a team around him. Look at him with the Bills.
He's kind of like
or the Texans.
I don't want to say he's kind of like Alex Smith because Alex Smith is.
No, Alex Smith is on the.
He's actually pretty good.
Yeah, Alex Smith had the downfall of having 5 offensive coordinators in 5 years.
That killed him early in his career.
Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't say it's quite that. I would say he has more of the.
He's like a stopgap quarterback.
Yeah, no, he's kind of got the syndrome like Doug Flutie almost. But
yeah,
Flutie was a great player,
yeah.
But nobody, I think, mainly because of his size, unfortunately, mainly people looked at him as. An upside guy, but he's not going to be the guy especially when he was older, which Fitzpatrick is getting up there. He's not. He's got the intangibles, but he's not going to be the guy, and nobody's going to view him as a franchise quarterback unless he comes out and say he signs this year and comes out and just throws for 40+ touchdowns, and you know what I mean. Like he's never shown he could be the guy.
Well, just to point out, last season's totals, he had career highs for 31 touchdowns and passing yards.
I think he also benefited from playing with a good defense.
Not only that, he had
2 killer receivers.
2 killer receivers.
The best receivers he's had his entire career.
Oh yeah.
Except for save for Hopkins in Houston. I don't even recall if he was there when Fitzpatrick was there.
Yeah, well, the 2 receivers that he played with, Eric Decker and Brandon Marshall, they were the first 2 receivers, the first Jets duo of receivers to have 1,000-yard receiving season since Keyshawn Johnson and Wade Shredbritt. I think I'm saying that name right.
Let me see the name. I'll tell you. I think I have an idea who you're talking about. What you got? Oh, it's Corbett.
Oh, Corbett.
Yeah, Wayne Corbett.
I'm sorry.
That was a funny story, too.
Yeah.
Keyshawn didn't like Wayne Corbett.
Since 1998, so that's like a long time.
Yeah, that's a funny story, too, man. Keyshawn kind of didn't like him because Corbett, the coaches liked him because he was a hard worker. He'd go out there and he's just... Keyshawn, he's like, I want my targets,
Yeah.
But no, that's funny that I totally forgot about Winker. But I agree with you. I don't know if I could justify giving Fitzpatrick that money in a world that's not a Madden video game. And, it's fake money, justification. You know what I mean? I just don't know if I can do it.
I don't know what to make of this, man. Fitzpatrick, the fact that he wants 8 figures, dude, is just kind of blows my mind.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean. I don't side with him here.
No.
But we'll see, I guess, and we'll keep you guys updated on that. Of course, if there's anything that changes here in the coming weeks, obviously we will let you know. But moving on to our third and final story is Mike Tirico, the longtime voice of Monday Night Football since 2006, is leaving ESPN. He's heading to NBC Sports. He saw the opportunity to announce the Olympics this summer.
Yeah.
And that's been a dream of his. He said he couldn't pass it up. So taking over for him in the booth is Sean McDonough. He'll be taking over. He's been with ESPN since 2000. He's covered college football, college basketball, and Major League Baseball. I recognize his voice. I didn't recognize the name or the face, but I listened, to some, I'd searched him and I listened to some of his stuff, and I recognize his voice, I think probably more so from baseball. He's going to debut, obviously, August 7th, the Hall of Fame game this year. He's going to, again, my question initially was, is Gruden going to stay? Indeed, Gruden and Lisa Salters are both staying on with Monday Night Football, so he'll be in the booth with Gruden. I'm going to miss Tirico, though. They always had a really fun time.
They're a really good duo.
Yeah.
They had a lot of chemistry.
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to see how that goes, hopefully. But it's weird. It's kind of following this trend of analysts leaving ESPN.
Yeah,
Skip Bayless announced he was leaving the network for Fox Sports 1. Bill Simmons, they refused to pick up his contract. He left ESPN. Colin Cowherd left last year for Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports Radio.
Yeah.
He left at the end of his contract, so maybe the same thing. They didn't choose to renew it. It's kind of crazy, what's going on over there at ESPN,
Yeah, what's going on? If you want to call us ESPN, let us know.
Yeah. I understand Tirico. I mean, I imagine somebody who wanted to be an announcer all their life grew up dreaming about a few things. McDonough said it was, he remembers watching Monday Night Football with his dad. Mm-hmm. And his dad, I, from what I could get from the context clues, I guess, passed away because he said he's probably looking down smiling, But for anybody that was, growing up, I'm sure, people who love the news, NBC Nightly News or 60 Minutes or whatever. If you wanted to be a sports guy, I imagine the Olympics was the crown jewel, you know, unless you loved football like me. Sunday Night Football, Monday Night Football, ESPN, any of those, NFL Network would be that for me. I imagine that if it's true with Tirico, I imagine a lot of those guys, the Olympics would be the holy grail of announcing. Yeah,
not only that, it also gives them a chance to possibly eventually commentate a Super Bowl in the near future.
Yeah, well,
something he couldn't do at ESPN.
Well, that's the weird thing too. Yeah, well, the Super Bowl, as I'm sure you know, it changes every year from NBC, ABC, and CBS. I'm sorry, NBC, Fox, and CBS. So it'll go from the Sunday night guys, Al Michaels,
Al Michaels and Chris Collins.
Chris Collinsworth. I always confuse Michaels and Costas. To Fox with, it's Aikman and Joe Buck, thank you. And then it's CBS with Phil Simms and
Jim Nantz.
Jim Nantz, thank you.
Okay. Okay.
Normally I have those guys on lock.
Normally I do too. I don't know why my mind gone like that.
It's because we had the thing. Okay. But so it would changes every year from there to that. So I don't know. It depends on.
NBC has the Super Bowl in 2 years in 2017.
Yeah, I think this year is 2018. Fox.
Yeah, it was Fox this cup.
No, it was CBS this last year.
Yeah.
So I think it's Fox this year.
Yeah.
So then and then NBC. Yeah, I don't know. That's weird because you would imagine that would only change is if Al Michaels left.
Yeah.
And he does have that would be cool. He had the ability to join that booth.
Yeah, if he chose the fact that he would join those two.
Well, he would. I would assume he would
replace one of them.
He's not the color guy, so he would probably if he came on, it would be to replace Al.
Yeah.
Usually you have guys like former players, Phil Simms, Collinsworth, Aikman, Gruden, who's a coach, are typically the color guys.
Yeah.
Madden was a coach. The only weird one was when Dennis Miller was on ESPN.
Oh my gosh, dude,
not a player at all.
I think he was on the. Was he on? I thought he was on ABC.
No, he did when Monday Night Football was on ABC. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But weird ones like that. But typically, you have a player. Gifford. Guys, it's typically players or coaches, people that were in the game. It gives you that insight, So he would take over for Al for sure. But that being said, who knows if he would even do that.
See Al Michaels leaving soon. I don't know if he is.
He's been in the he's been in the business forever.
He's like one of those guys that's going to retire. No, he's not going to retire. Like he won't retire. He's going to do it until like
Don Meredith,
until he like passes away.
Cosell.
Yeah. Vince Scully's still doing it. He's still doing it, going strong in his.
This is his last year, though.
Yeah.
He finally decided to hang the cleats up.
He's been doing it a long time.
Yeah, man. He's been doing it since like the 50s
or
the 40s.
I think he was there when.
He was in New York when.
He was there when Jackie Robinson was there.
I can't speak on that. I have no clue, but
I actually don't know that knowledge on top of my head right now. But he was there for some big games.
I mean, so was Al Michaels. Al Michaels was there for every Sunday night game for the longest time. He was there, not even just football. He announced the Miracle on Ice in the 1980 Winter Olympics against the USA versus Russian hockey teams. Uh-huh. He's all over the place. He did Olympics for a long time.
Oh, he also, I think when the A's and Giants they played at Bay Bridge.
Bay Bridge series
when
in
during the earthquake, he played a big.
Well, I know that Berman was there for that.
Yeah, but Al Michaels, he was there for that. And
coverage.
He was constantly getting updates on the earthquake. Mm-hmm. So he was there for that. Was also a big
names. Like Tirico's been, not only has he's been on Monday Night Football since 2006. He's been with ESPN since about 2000. I'm sorry, since like 1991.
Yeah,
he's been there.
24.
That ended. Yeah, that ended one of the longest runs currently in ESPN with Tirico leaving. So
I think it's surprised some people that he left ESPN.
I don't know. I think it's time to move on, I guess.
But the fact that he's going to do the Olympics, I don't blame him.
Yeah. I would love to do the Olympics.
Yeah, me too, man.
Like I said, the football stuff, even some baseball stuff would be high up there for me. But saying that doesn't mean that the Olympics wouldn't be high up there. That's crazy. That's the pinnacle of a lot of sports. Growing up as a kid, kids either want to be in the NFL or they want to play professional sports, NBA, MLB. Or they want to be, Olympic athletes. That would be really cool. So I'm really excited for him. Especially because I think he's going to be on the Olympics as early as this year. So I'm super excited to hear him on there.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
You got anything else for me today?
No, maybe this Hot 16 bars. I'm kidding.
Oh, man.
No, I'm kidding. One day, though, I will.
One day. Oh, yay.
One day. Okay. Well, we'd like to thank you again for tuning in to the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. You can visit us on iTunes for new episodes each week. You can find us at gsmcpodcast.com as well as on Twitter at gsmc_football. And Facebook at the Golden State Media Concepts Football Podcast. As always, I'm Jeremiah.
And I'm Alex.
We will see you next time.
Thank you for listening. Bye.